We are now leaving the Haunted Wood Trail and heading to the Montgomery Park, the Montgomery burial site, and the Montgomery home. As we cross this road, this is a newly erected park for Lucy Montgomery, and there is a statue of her somewhere here.
Don't break it.
All of this was inspiration to Lucy Maud Montgomery as she wrote her stories, especially Anne of Green Gables, her very first novel. We are now going to have an opportunity to visit her home where she lived for some time here in Cavendish as we walk through the Lucy Maud Montgomery Park. Here's a little plaque commemorating the founding of Cavendish in 1790 by Scottish settlers. And from its humble beginnings,
स्कूल से पहले बाथरूम करिए.
Stay like that.
and here one can sit and ponder, just like this strapping chap, about all things Anne of Green Gables. We are now walking to the site of Lucy Maud Montgomery's Cavendish home, through the many paths that I'm sure she had taken when she came to live here after her mother passed. Walk in the footsteps of Lucy Maud Montgomery as she did for half of her life here on the property she called home from 1876. Feel her spirit as you read her own heartfelt words displayed on placards as you stroll around the property, enjoying her favorite flowers, magnificent old trees, along with the original apple tree she would sit under to write, the paths she took to church, the old lane she took to school, the well she drew water from, and the island stone cellar. It was here on this property she wrote her most famous book, Anne of Green Gables. Here we go. These are her footsteps. We're taking the path of Lucy Maud Montgomery in the home that she lived and was inspired with her surroundings to write Anne of Green Gables. Let's see what's around the bend. Always something around the bend. Here we are coming through the path to different homestead sites. Let's see where we are. This is the bookstore, library, the McNeil Homestead. Beautiful area and countryside. And we are about to take a walk through to the homestead.
So Lucy Maud, or Maud as she liked to be called, was born in 1874 to Hugh and Claire Montgomery in New London, PEI. And after Maud was born, her mother Clara fell ill and passed away of tuberculosis when Maud was 21 months old. So when that happened, Maud was brought here to be cared for by her maternal grandparents, Alexander and Lucy McNeil, who are in this photo here. This was their property, and they ran a large family farm here, and they also ran the Cavendish post office out of the kitchen of their home. And after Maud was brought here, she was cared for by her maternal grandparents, as I said, and she worked a lot in the post office, so she got to hear lots of stories from all over the world, and so she was inspired to start writing. So when she was 16, she published her first short story, which was on the record of Marco Polo, which was once the world's fastest sailing vessel, and it sunk just off the coast of Cavendish when Maud was 9 years old, and by that point it was just carrying cargo. And after the shipwreck, members of the crew came to stay with members of the Cavendish community in their homes, and the captain came to stay here with Maud and her grandparents. And he left a porthole, a spyglass, and a bell from the original ship, which we have on this cover here. And while Maud was trying to get more of her work published, she became a teacher to support herself, and she taught for 3 years on the island, and she quit in 1898 once her grandfather passed away, and she moved back in with her grandparents to help her run the post office. And we have the original desk and scales from the post office here that Maud used. And we know she did some writing at this desk, but she used to take paper from the post office.
Oh, wow.
To use to make little notes for her stories. And she liked the secrecy of working at the post office because no one knew she was sending out manuscripts, and no one knew about the 5 rejection letters that she got for Anne of Green Gables. But once it was finally published in 1908 by Elsie Page and Company, it was a huge success. And so the following year she wrote Anne of Avonlea and published it as well. And Kill Me of the Orchard and The Story Girl, which are the other 2 novels she wrote on this property, followed soon after. And although Anne of Green Gables was both her first and most popular novel, her personal favorite was The Story Girl. A little time after she moved off island, she wrote a short autobiography called The Alpine Path about her time growing up in Cavendish and the start of her writing career. This is a photo that she took herself of the property before she moved away, and so we're standing about here. And this building furthest to the left is the house that she grew up in, and that bedroom window on that side of the house was her bedroom window, and that is where she did the vast majority of her writing.
Oh, right.
We have some more photos of the inside of the house over there, and the photo on the bottom right shows the Second Cavendish Presbyterian Church, which is still out on the main Cavendish Road. That is where she used to play the organ, and where she met her husband, who had been the preacher there for 3 years.
Oh, yeah.
And together they moved towards the area looking next to where Maud's grandmother passed away after they got married the same year. And they followed his career all the way out there, and that's where they stayed. Maud was the last person to live in this house after 9 years of it being abandoned. It was taken down in 1920. And the only thing that was saved was the kitchen and post office, which you can see out the window. That part was given to a local historian who was writing about Maud, and he passed away in 2019. And his family returned it here to us after he passed. But unfortunately, then the pandemic happened, and so that put a halt to our renovating aspirations. So that part is unfortunately closed right now, but it should be open within the next couple of years. You guys can take the path over to my right, and then I'll lead you down around the foundation.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks so much. This is where the original post office / kitchen was, where Lucy Maud Montgomery worked with her uncle, and where her manuscript for Anne of Green Gables was mailed out. She had many rejections before a publisher did eventually pick it up. We are now taking the path to what remains of the McNeil house, where she lived and was inspired and wrote Anne of Green Gables. There are many apple trees on this estate here. You can see the apples. And one of these apple trees is the one that Lucy Maud Montgomery sat under as she pondered about Anne of Green Gables. So lovely to wish along a wishing well.
Oh, gorgeous. Oh, watch out for these frogs.
We are actually walking in the footsteps of Lucy Maud Montgomery, places where she got inspiration for her stories. Remnants of an old home. You can see the stairs leading down into what might have been the cellar. We'll find out as we walk on the path towards this area. Path made here that once was perhaps the barrier of the remnants of that home that we were visiting. Here's the apple tree, or remnants of the apple orchard that Lucy Maud Montgomery sat under as she pondered and thought about all things Anne of Green Gables. End view of old house and Lucy Maud's window where she sat to write. So this is the remnants of the home where Lucy Maud Montgomery sat to write about all things Anne of Green Gables. And this is the view she had. The gable window. I looked from it o'er bloomy meadows, where idle breezes lost their way, to solemn hills whose purple shadows about them lay. I saw the sunshine stream in splendor o'er heaven's utmost azure bars, at eve the radiance pure and tender of white-browed stars. How beautiful. It's so lovely to walk in the footsteps of Lucy Maud Montgomery.